Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chapter 8 Ethics. In this chapter, we are discussing about what are the ethical responsibilities of a personal support worker, how we are guided by the ethics, the code of conducts, and what are the morals and justice, and what are the healthcare ethics. So, the whole discussion in this chapter will be about the ethics and morals as a healthcare support worker we have to display in our professional life. Let us define the terminology ethics. What is ethics? Ethics refers to principles or values. These are the principles or values that guide us when deciding what is right, when we decide what is right or what is wrong, and what is good or what is bad. Ethics helps us to define. Ethics helps us to decide what is right or wrong, what is good or bad. So, ethics play significant role in our professional life. We may have to make a judgment, and the judgment must follow the principle of values, principle of ethics. On the other hand, morals. Morals are the fundamental principle of behavior, the fundamental principle of behavior, that the behavior we show, these are the morals. Each person believes to be right or wrong for himself or herself. These are the two different concepts. Sometimes people use it interchangeably and which are not good. These are two different principles. Values are what an individual considers to be worthwhile. Values are considers to be worthwhile qualities in a person. These are the good qualities in a person that has value in life. A belief is a conviction that something is true. So the belief, the word here belief, it is most of the time it is guided by the culture. A belief is a conviction that something is true. It's a it's a thought, it's a mental process in which a person believes that it is true. That's why it becomes a belief. Ethics and morals are Ethics and morals are often incorrectly used. Sometimes people use it incorrectly to mean the same thing, but they are different. Once again, let me repeat. Ethics and morals are often incorrectly used to mean the same thing, but they are different things. Let me clarify once again what is ethics. Ethics is the rules of conduct that guide us when deciding what is right and what is wrong, and what is good or what is bad. If you go to the page number 118 of your textbook, you will see them very clearly. Whereas morals are the fundamental principle of behavior each person believes to be right or wrong for him or herself without concern of the legalities or customs. These are two different things which sometimes people use incorrectly to mean the same thing. And our role as a personal support worker is very important here to follow the ethical responsibilities and to believe in the moral values. As a support worker, you will have to rely on your ethical beliefs. So, what is the role of ethical beliefs in the personal support's life? Definitely, it has a great influence on our professional life. As a support worker, as a support worker, we have the great value. We have to depend on our activities. We have to rely on, depend on the ethical beliefs, the morals, and the values to guide your decision making and conduct. So in terms of making decision, what what situation you are supposed to make the decision while providing the compassionate care to the client, you may have to make different decisions. The decision in terms of setting the priorities, the decision in terms of making the time management and working within the given time frame, in terms of the priority of the different client, the priority of your service, your help, your assistance, your support will depend on the need of the client. Sometimes the client needs something in very urgently, in an urgent way. You have to focus that first. These are the decision making process as a personal support worker, and we have to rely on ethical beliefs, morals, and values. Code of ethics. Here we are discussing about what are the code of ethics, how we follow the code of ethics, and what is the code of ethics itself. Healthcare teams from form the professional helping relationship with clients and have developed ethical standard. We form. What do we form? Healthcare team form professional helping relationship. We are helping professionally to our client, and we develop ethical standard to guide the interaction. Always we have the interaction, we have the communication between the client and healthcare worker, and our interaction, our helping hands are always based on the ethical values and ethical standard to guide the interaction, which is fairly the communication. Maybe the verbal communication, maybe the non-verbal communication. It is all our activities are guided by the ethical standards and interaction. Regulated professions have code of ethics, like the nurses, registered practical nurses and registered nurses, and occupational therapists, physiotherapists, physicians, and all other types of doctors like surgeons. They are regulated professionals, and they have the code of ethics provided by their governing body. The governing body for the nurses is Nurses of Colleges of Nurses of Ontario, what we call CNO. CNO determines what are the codes of ethics. Every nurse working in Ontario, they are supposed to follow them uh, in a professional way. Support workers do not have a formal code of ethics. See here the difference between the nurses and the support worker. The nurses are regulated professionals. We are not the regulated professionals. They have a code of ethics in their governing body. We do not have that. Let me repeat. We the support workers, we the support workers do not have a formal code of ethics, but many employers have informal code of ethics. We have to follow the code of ethics of the employer. They will allow us to understand what are the ethics we have to follow. If you go to book page number 119, you can see a sample of code of ethics for personal support worker. Let's go to page number 119. What is mentioned in the page number 119 that says a sample code of ethics for the personal support worker. The box number 81, it has given five big points, and another page it has other 4 points. These are our personal the code of ethics for support worker. Let me clarify it. Number point number one, Support workers provide high quality personal care and support services. We are supporting our clients no matter where we work. Maybe in the hospital, long term care, or in the community, we are providing high quality personal care and support services. They work within their scope of practice. All the PSWs, we are working under our scope of practice, and our goal is to provide the high quality personal care and support services. Personal care starts from the morning care, and then starts in the dining room. Sometime we may have to do the laundry and do grocery for our clients in the community base, and many others. The point number two, code of ethics. Point number two, the support worker needs to be aware of the policies and procedures for each area, no matter where they work. Each area means the area they work. Either they work in the facility mode, like in the hospital, nursing home, retirement home, long term care homes, or they will work in the community setting, the client's own house. At that time, they have to follow all the policies and procedures of working. Similarly, point number three discusses about the support workers provide compassionate care to all clients, no matter what. They are there to provide compassionate care. They promote the client's physical, emotional, and intellectual, social, and spiritual well beings. They encourage clients to maintain as much independence as possible during the time of normal health and in the situation of illness, injury, or disability, or while dying, which is the palliative care we will discuss in the later classes. They respect and promote the family's role and relationship. We are working as a connecting agent between the facility or between the family or between the client and other healthcare worker. Similarly, the next point says support workers value the dignity and worth of all clients. All clients are special. They are unique in nature. They have a unique desire. They are a unique person. They deserve their dignity. Dignity means the respect. We provide them the respect, the dignity they deserve, and warmth of all clients. We advocate for the client. We say the client needs these things for his daily support. We report this to the nurses, to the supervisor, to the facilities, to the families, no matter where we work. Similarly, the next point of ethics is support workers respect their clients' choices about how they receive or participate in their care. It is our responsibility to follow the care plan. And if the client wants to take part in the personal care, we have to provide them assistance as per needed. We have to promote their wishes. We have to always make a goal of making them more independent, and we have to support them as per needed. Similarly, the next point is about support workers respect their clients' right to privacy and confidentiality. All clients, they always respect their privacy. Everybody needs privacy. While providing the care, we have to maintain their privacy and confidentiality. What do you mean by confidentiality? Confidentiality is all about their personal life and the health situation. We are working with our client, but we are not supposed to disclose even a single bit of personal information of our client with anybody. But we can share the client's information only with the team we are working at present, not the team members of the past working team at present. For example, I'm working with my client number A, client, his name is A, And who is the right person I can share the information? How can I share the client's um, intake and output and clients bowel movement and bladder movement, clients taking medication or refusing to take the medication? It is my nurse, it is my nursing supervisor. I can interact with them, I can share the information for the health and wellness of the client, not with other people. Even I can't share those clients' information with my family member. I can't talk about my client's information in the elevator, in the hallway, with the client who is with the coworker who is working with another side. I cannot disclose the personal information of my client at any cost, at any rate. This is very serious. Similarly, support workers do not misuse their position of trust. Support worker, they are trusted a lot by the family, by the client, by the facility, or in the community. But if we breach the trust, if we break the trust, if we misuse the trust, we will have to face the criminal charges of that, because it goes to the court of justice, and uh, we have to face the consequences of our activity. This is why we are reading what is the ethical values associated with our professional life as a personal support worker. Similarly, other code of ethics, next point says support workers are reliable. Our client, they trust us, they believe us. Reliable means we are worthy to be believed by the family members, by the clients, by the agency we work, by the facility we work, in the hospital we work, in the community we work, or even the client is alone in home. We have to follow those codes of ethics in a professional manner. Support workers promote and maintain their client safety. Safety first is number one concern in healthcare setting. Safety of the client is always the number one cause. Because of the safety, client may have a fall. Because of the fall, client may have an injury. Because of the injury, client may be having permanent disabilities. And because of the negligence of our work, if the client has those type of situation, we are there to pay for it. We are charged for that, the negligence of our work. Therefore, we are support worker. We are working for the client's safety. We are working for the confidentiality of their information. We are working to maintain their dignity and respect. We are working there to preserve the client's right. We are advocating our client, what our client need. We communicate those ideas to other people, to the nurses and other healthcare workers. These are the sample of the code of ethics for the support workers in page number 119. I encourage you to go with the textbook as well. Now we are discussing about our principle of healthcare and ethics, how the ethics, the code of ethics are connected with the principle of healthcare system. In the healthcare, how we relate ethic. Healthcare ethics is the philosophical study of what is morally right, what is morally right, and what is morally wrong when providing healthcare services. Remember, healthcare ethics is just making the philosophical study or philosophically making decision about what is morally right and morally wrong. I give you one interesting example. You are looking after 10 clients. Do you think you can give maximum time to one of the clients and very uh, f- uh, less time to other clients? No. This means you are not morally right, you are morally wrong. You are not following the healthcare ethics. If you follow healthcare ethics, if you follow what is morally right, you divide your time. You are good in managing the time equally to all the clients because morally all clients are equal to us. We cannot be partial. We cannot be biased. We cannot be biased in terms of the client's condition. We cannot be biased in terms of the client's origin, client's culture, client's values, client's religion, client's ethnic background, client's back home background, or client's level of education, whatever is the condition, we cannot do something morally wrong in the healthcare setting. An ethical dilemma, it's a big terminology. Ethical dilemma. This is we are confused. We are not in the deciding mode. We are in indecisive mode. We are in the situation that will often involve an apparent means clear conflict between the opposing moral choices. When you have something, some situation, some scenario which are totally opposing, they are conflicting between the two um, two groups or two thought of persons. There are four basic principles of healthcare ethics are. So ethical dilemma. Ethical dilemma could be when you have to do something, but your ethical values, your moral values, does not let you do that work. This is called ethical dilemma. And when you have an ethical dilemma, what do you do? Do you do the work which you are not morally supporting that idea, or you are not doing it at all? When you have ethical dilemma, you have a good option to solve this dilemma. You go to your supervisor, your nurse, or your nurse manager, or the administrator, and you clearly state your position and try to solve the situation in a professional way. Do not yell at people when you have a dilemma, when you have an indecisive mood, when you cannot make a proper decision or judgment. Let's go to the four principles of healthcare ethics. What are the principles of healthcare ethics? Autonomy. Number one is autonomy. Number two is justice. Number three is beneficence. Number four, non maleficence. We are discussing all these points. What is autonomy? Let's let's know what is the terminology autonomy itself. What does it mean? Also called self-determination. Autonomy means auto means self, and this word said self-determination. Self-determination. How to do self-determination? Having free choice involving decision that affects one's life. It's a self-determination. It becomes very complicated when your client's decision could cause risk or result in the death. A client can a a client is free to decide his or her own modality of the care, a free choice, because we have to respect their choice. We have to respect their autonomy, their freedom of selection, of choosing something better for them. But it becomes very complicated when your client make a decision, something, and which can cause the risk or result in death. Because of the client's own decision, something bad happens and the client can cause the risk of his or her own health or result in the death. That time autonomy. Respecting your client's autonomy means Respecting your client's autonomy means, even it is making more clear here, that you do not judge their choice. You have to let them select what they want. You have to let them choose what they want. And you cannot be judgmental of their choice and lifestyle. We are here, we are there to work with them, to assist them, but we are not their judge. They are the judge of their life, their choice, their freedom. That's why we have to respect the autonomy of our client. The next point we talk about justice. What is justice? What we understand by justice in healthcare system under the topic Code of Ethics. All people should be treated in a fair and equal manner. Who are we to give them a biased care? We are nobody to give them bias. We are there to treat them equally in a fair way. It's called fair share. We have to share the time with all our assigned clients fairly. We cannot be judgmental, we cannot be biased, we cannot give more priority for somebody who belongs to our group or our background or whatever. That's not the justice, and we have to follow the justice. We should treat them equally and fairly. Some people are easier to work with than others, so you may feel you want to spend less time with demanding people. Can you do it? You want to spend demanding people are there and you don't like them personally because they are all the time demanding something, and you want to talk, you want to stay more time with the clients who are nice to you. Do you follow these? Never. Or whose lifestyle you do not agree with? Even if they have their different lifestyle, they have different choice in the life, you do not agree with them, you do not agree with their culture, that's fine for us. We don't have to agree with them. We are not there to agree with them. We are there to providing the support, providing the help. You can uphold the principle of justice by being concerned for all the clients, regardless of their condition and the temperaments, what they think and what they behave to you, and what they are having different styles, their own lifestyle, what values they have. We are not there to judge. We are just there to help them, to assist them whenever they need us. That's called justice. We are showing some kind of justice by treating them fairly and equally. Beneficence. The word beneficence is very new for you. It's a very common word in nursing field. Beneficence means do good something. Doing or promoting good for other people. Do not do bad for other people. Do good. Show something good for us. Think good for them. A client's need come before those of his or her family. A client's need come before those of his or her family. A client is always our first priority. We always have to do something good to our client. And the first priority goes to the client, not other people, not even the client's family member. If you feel a family member's request goes against the need of the client, contact your supervisor. See here, if you feel the family member's request goes against the need of the client, sometimes family member doesn't mean that they are always supporting the client. Sometimes the idea of the family goes against the client. If it goes against the client, what is your role? You are doing advocacy for the client. You are talking in support of the client. That's why contact your supervisor. Concept of beneficence and professionalism are closely related. Concept of beneficence and professionalism. Our profession as a personal support worker, we are always focusing on our clients, not even the client's family. Client's family gets second priority. The first priority is our clients. Client safety first, clients benefits first, and everything client first. Similarly, non-malfeasance, another new word for you, non-malfeasance, seeking to do no harm, do not harm, do not harm the client. Family and the client may incorrectly ask you to perform the tasks that you are not within your scope of practice, and this could cause harm to the client if you are not trained to do the tasks. Do not do it. Let me read it once again. Family and the client innocently may innocently ask you to perform some tasks that you are not supposed to do, which are not within your scope of practice, and this could cause harm to the client if you are not trained to do that. Do you think you can do catheterization to the client as a personal support worker? Your client didn't pee for the whole day, and family member come to you and they ask you to do some catheterization, to insert the catheter. Do you do that? Never ever. Even don't imagine of that, because personal support workers are not trained for that. Personal support workers are not allowed to that, and inserting the catheter is not within the scope of practice of a personal support worker. This is how we never do the things which do not fall under our scope of practice. They may also ask about information related to the diagnosis of the client. Sometimes the family asks about the client information, medical or surgical condition of the client. See here, medical or surgical or the treatment process, what the treatment modality going on, treatment plans going on with the client. You must never discuss this with the client or family. Even you must never discuss these things with the client or family. Instead, refer them to where? Where do you refer them? Refer them to your supervisor. Do not do the job of supervisor. You are not there to do the job of supervisor. Let supervisor do their job. And do not disclose the client's personal health information even with the client. It is not your job. Ethical dilemma. See here, it's a beautiful term. We have to know what is ethical dilemma. Dilemma is a confusion in the we are in the position of not making a good decision, because we have the both ideas are conflicting ideas we have, and ethical, these are the values, professional values. So because of the professional values, the code of ethics that provides us one guidelines, one idea, and we cannot make the decision depending on our values. A code of ethics provides guideline for the ethical behavior. Code of ethics shows us how to behave in an ethical way, but cannot give answers of the rules. It doesn't give you the answer of all the rules. These are the code of ethics. When faced with the ethical dilemma, if you have a if you have the situation of ethical dilemma, what do? Carefully consider the four principles of healthcare ethics, which we already read there. Four principle of healthcare ethics. Let's go back to four principle of healthcare ethics. It is here: autonomy, justice, beneficence, and non-malfeasance. Autonomy is the freedom of the client. Justice is our part. We have to give them fair share. Beneficence, do good. Non-malfeasance, do not harm. So By following these four principles, we have to follow this, we have to determine, we have to come to the decision or make the decision. Carefully consider the four principles of healthcare ethics and make the decision on the basis of that. Collect as much information about the situation as possible. Before making decision, do not make any decision in a big hurry. Rather, make a decision very nicely by collecting all the information related with that. Consider all possible options to resolve the dilemma. Try to consider all the possible ways so that you can come to the point of better decision. Now, question asked to yourself when dealing with the ethical dilemma. Some of the questions you have to self practice. You can ask yourself, does the person respect the client's wishes and preferences? Does the option, does the option means the option you choose, the decision you make, is your decision respect the client's wishes and preference? If it maintains, if it respects the client's wishes and preference, good to go. You can do the decision. If not, think twice. Stop making decision. Does the option treat the client justly and fairly? If it is treating properly, justly and fairly, if it is that, go with that. Does the option provide the client with the short-term benefit or long-term benefit? Determine what is short-term benefit, which is good for the client in the short term, and what is good for the client in the long term. You determine for that. Could the option cause harm or increase the client risk of harm? If it is something related with the harm, don't quickly make the decision. First, determine what is harmful for the client. For example, the client is not taking the medication and you are not reporting, and the client says, do not report to this to the nurse supervisor. The family members say, do not report the refusal of medication to the nursing supervisor. What do? You follow the family or the client, or you follow the ethical value of your profession. You have to follow the ethical values of your profession. This may give you some ethical dilemma, but you have to report to the nurses, to the supervisor, that the family member or the client, they are not taking the medication and telling me not to tell to the supervisor. You have to disclose it, because not taking medication could make them happy for some time, but it could increase the client's risk or it may harm the client in the long term. That's why we cannot lie regarding the health of our clients. What are all the possible consequences to the client? If the client is not taking medication, what are the possible consequences of not taking medication to the client, to the family, to the client, to the family, and others with this option? What does it really help for them or not? It's we have to make the decision of that. We have to document, we have to report. We are always there to help other, and we always stretch our hand to help other, and we have to receptive, we have to ask for help whenever we have the ethical dilemma, when we have the conflicting idea and we are not being able to make the decision. We are always there to ask for the help, and we need to ask for the help for the better client's care. And thank you for your patience listening to this chapter. I encourage you to go with the textbook as well. Thank you. Have a good day.